Penguin Random House presents Big Book of Malice by Khushwant Singh, read by Faraz Khan. Khushwant Singh's Big Book of Malice. Khushwant Singh was India's best-known writer and columnist. He was founder, editor of Yojana and editor of the Illustrated Weekly of India, the National Herald and the Hindustan Times. He is the author of classics such as Train to Pakistan, I Shall Not Hear the Nightingale, retitled as The Lost Victory, and Delhi. His last novel, The Sunset Club, written when he was 95, was published by Penguin in 2010. His non-fiction includes the classic two-volume A History of the Sikhs, a number of translations and works on Sikh religion and culture, Delhi, nature, current affairs, and Urdu poetry. Khushwant Singh was a Member of Parliament from 1980 to 1986. He was awarded the Padma Bhushan in 1974, but returned the decoration in 1984 in protest against the storming of the Golden Temple in Amritsar by the Indian Army. In 2007, he was awarded the Padma Vibhushan. Among the other awards he has received are the Punjab Ratan, the Sulabh International Award for the Most Honest Indian of the Year, and honorary doctorates from several universities. He passed away in 2014 at the age of 99. Foreword. I have never taken any person or event too seriously, least of all myself. I have always been a nosy person, forever probing into other people's private lives. I love to gossip and have an insatiable appetite for scandal. 40 years ago, when I landed my first job as editor of Yojana, I discovered I could exploit these negative traits in my character to my benefit. Readers were amused by what I wrote and asked for more. An editor of the Times of India who carried the burden of the country on his head scoffed at me as he remarked, "You have made bullshit an art form." I was flattered. I resumed my column when I took over as editor of the Illustrated Weekly of India in 1969. I wrote on subjects other editors considered beneath contempt. I wrote on why some monkeys have red bottoms, on the refined art of bottom pinching, shoplifting without being caught, the joys of drinking, mocking politicians, godmen, astrologers. Above all, name-droppers were my favorite target. I had great fun writing these columns, and evidently people enjoyed reading them. My friend Mario Miranda designed the logo, putting me in a bulb with a pile of books and a bottle of whiskey beside me. It has become my trademark. My colleague, Bachi Karkaria, who helped me write some of my better pieces, summed me up in 3 words: sex, scotch, and scholarship. I found the third untrue but flattering. After I was sacked from the Illustrated Weekly, I carried my column to the National Herald, then to New Delhi, and finally to the Hindustan Times. When my contract for editorship of the Hindustan Times was terminated, I was asked by the proprietor K.K. Birla to continue writing my weekly column on a freelance basis with permission to syndicate it. That proved to be a bonanza. Now my 2 columns, With Malice and This Above All, are picked up by papers all over the country in both English and regional languages. They bring me dough and notoriety. I hope this compendium brings more of both. Khushwant Singh. Nose-picking. It is a nauseating habit most of us indulge in when no one is looking. Tolstoy was forthright in his condemnation. People who pick their noses and dispose of the pickings on the undersides of the dinner table are not likely ever to see God. So, few of us are likely to be let in the pearly gates and have darshan of the Almighty. Charles Darwin, author of The Origin of Species, found this one distinguishing factor between us and our simian cousins. Monkeys do not pick their noses, he wrote. This is about the only disgusting personal human habit at which they are not also adept. Who in the world would have thought of writing a book on the subject except an American? So one has, a Yank by the name of Donald Wetzel. My friend Amir C. Tuteja, Punjabi turned US citizen who lives in Washington, D.C. and periodically sends me offbeat literature, included the Nose Picker's Guide, Ivory Tower Publishing Company, along with two others, the New York City Cab Driver's Joke Book, which I will write about later in this column, and the Fart Book, about which I will not say anything lest it creates a stink. A new word you may like to add to your vocabulary is booger. It is the stuff you extract out of your nostrils. They are of two kinds, dry boogers and wet boogers. Whatever kind they be, you instinctively try to stick them on the sides of the chair you are sitting on, or under the table. If you happen to be out on a walk, you stick them to the sides of your trousers. Beware of depositing them on your bed headrest, because the king of shrinks Sigmund Freud declared that people who put their nose pickings on the pillowcase are sick. Donald Wetzel has drawn a list of many varieties of boogers. In the dry variety are marble, buckshot, black hole, dry, hairy, firmly attached to a large hair in the nostril, smoky bear, and pygmy. Then there is the phantom, which does not really exist except in your imagination, and you go on probing for it in your nostrils endlessly till somebody screams at you to stop. There is also a bastard booger which refuses to be molded into a disposable shape and sticks to your finger no matter how much you try to get rid of it. Similarly, wet boogers have many subspecies: fish eye, pizza, elastic, chicken turd, etc. Two aspects of nose picking should be noticed. First is that few people dig for them in their nostrils with handkerchiefs. Most people enjoy the exercise using only their index fingers. Oscar Wilde wrote, "Show me a man who picks his nose with his pinky, and I'll show you a man with a nose like a rabbit." The other noticeable aspect is that the habit of nose picking is far more prevalent among men than women. Queen Victoria remarked, "If one would remain a lady or gentleman, one must thoroughly wash one's hands after picking one's nose." Her Britannic Majesty was not a nose picker, and was not amused if she caught any of her courtiers probing their nostrils with their fingers. 4th March, 1995. Why bookshops are important. I have a rough and ready yardstick to measure the quality of life of towns and cities. On the positive side are the number of schools, colleges, and bookstores they have. On the negative, the number of cinemas and restaurants. But the ultimate litmus test of a town's sophistication is the number of bookshops it has, the kind of books they stock, and the customers they draw. Stores that cater to students selling school and college textbooks do not count. It is others which have books on fiction, poetry, science, technology, philosophy, comparative religion, and general knowledge, and the kind of people who buy them. I am heartened to see that though prices of books keep going up, book buying is also on the increase. Bengalis have always been book buyers. The day they receive their salaries, they go to buy their ration of reading for the month. Dal bhat and machar jhol are second priority. People of other states are picking up the habit. Punjabis, who are at the bottom of my list as book buyers, top of the list of consumers of beer and tandoori chicken, are turning more bookish. I had evidence of this recently at Chandigarh. The Capital Bookstore, which is a leading bookshop in the city, had the bright idea of inviting authors to meet their patrons.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?